Hi everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to Strip Club.
Thank you.
My name is Daniela and I'm here at Cozy Quilt Shop and I'm going to show you our latest Strip Club pattern called At Sea. Do you like it?
Yes.
I'm super excited about this because it utilizes two things that we love so much at Cozy Quilt Designs and Cozy Quilt Shop. And that is the strip tube ruler, 2.5-inch strips, and the cutting corner ruler. Okay, three things. Three things that we love so much. So the pattern is not hard to do. I'll tell you that it is one block. It's just one simple block. I'm going to show you how to put it together. I think the magic is that this block is set on point, and then the setting triangles are pieced. But don't be scared, because the piecework for the setting triangles is not difficult, and I'm going to show you how to do that too. So first you have to start with 2.5-inch strips. Our 2.5-inch strips are these taupes and browns and blues. And then we have a background fabric, which reads white, but it's actually sort of a mottled white. It's got a little movement in it. And then we have an accent fabric. Can you see the accent fabric? Can you tell me what color that is?
Blue.
Blue. The accent fabric is blue. Okay, so here we have fabric that comes from pre-cut 2.5-inch strips. You can use your stash. You can use a bundle on the market. We often have pre-cut bundles available in the shop that we sell. This does come from this month's strip bundle. So we have the fabrics we used for the strips. We have the background fabric. And then we have the accent fabric. We repeat the background fabric in part of the setting triangle. And then we repeat the accent fabric in the stripe in the setting triangle. See that stripe there? I'm going to show you how to do that. It's not hard, and it doesn't waste a lot of fabric. It's an awesome technique using the cutting corner ruler. You don't have to have the ruler, and you don't have to have the strip tube ruler. I'll tell you about that too. Here is the setting triangle. You see the setting triangle?
Yep.
And then of course we have the border. And the border is what started the whole fabric collection. We picked that one multicolor fabric, loved it, picked the colors from there to create the strips. Now I do believe our strip set has 20 different fabrics, 2 of each. So we started with 40 fabrics. This size is the large throw size, and it uses 38 strips. So that means you don't have to use 2 of the strips in your bundle. You can put those aside for another project. There are 18 blocks. It's positioned 3 across, 4 down. And I'll show you how to do the blocks. First you collect your strips. And then you will sew 2 strips together to make a strip set. Strip set looks a little like this. Right? Strip set, right? 2.5-inch strips sewn together. Make a bunch of those. The pattern will tell you how many. The next thing you do is you take a 4.5-inch background strip that you've already cut, because that's what the pattern said to do, and you follow the pattern word for word, right?
Right.
You read every word and you follow it. Yes. Well, that's why I do pictures, right? So you can look at the pictures. So we take our 4.5-inch of background fabric, and we're going to put it right sides together with the 2.5-inch, or the strip set of 2.5-inch strips. It'll look something like this. Makes a tube. Now, I know it's white on white, but can you see that this is the tube right here? The way we sew it together, come on, work with me. So a 1/4-inch seam up the top and a 1/4-inch seam down the bottom to create a tube. A tube. And then we turn to our strip tube ruler. Do we all know and love the strip tube ruler?
Yes.
Yes, very good. All right, the strip tube ruler has measurements down the side. In this pattern, we're going to go to the 4.5-inch measurement. Put the 4.5-inch line on the bottom stitching line. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay. You cut up and cut down to cut out a triangle. You still ready?
Yep.
Triangle looks a little like this. You pull it away from the tube and you open it up and you get diagonally pieced square.
Brilliant.
Really? I thought you said you were ready. triangle, you pull the triangle away from your tube, you open it up, and you get a diagonally pieced square.
Brilliant!
That's much better. Thank you very much. The next time you cut, you have this part of the tube is gone. It's been cut away. So the next time you cut, you'll cut off the top stitching line. The top stitching line, 4.5 inches once again. Off the top stitching line like that. Cut out the triangle, open it up, and you will get another diagonally pieced square.
Brilliant!
Thank you very much. Okay, but here's your $10 tip. This is not in the pattern. This is none of the books that we write, none of the patterns that we use this technique. You do not have to keep your tube in this position with that stitching line on the top, because that's an awkward cut. What you can do is flip your tube so that this seam is on the bottom. You follow me?
Yep.
Yep. So the same seam, now it's on the bottom, but it's a much easier cut because you're going like this, which is a much nicer cut than going like that. So that's a $10 tip, flip your tube. You don't have to flip your ruler. You're cutting off the same seam as I say in the pattern, but you're not having that awkward cut to do. So you're gonna go down the tube, up, down, up, down, up, down, cut a bunch of them from the tube, and you get a bunch of them that are half background and half 2.5 inch strips. Follow?
Yep.
You will do something very similar, except it will be 2 sets of 2.5 inch strips. And they will look like this. Same technique, just imagine that they're 2 sets of 2.5 inch strips. Look like that. You follow?
Yep.
Okay, so you collect a bunch of those. Do as many as the pattern says. The pattern will tell you how many tubes to make, how many blocks to cut out, and then when we assemble them to create our actual block, you will collect 6 pieces of the half striped block and 2 pieces of the full striped block. I say full striped because the whole thing is made out of stripes or strips, and then 1 accent fabric, and this is how we'll put our block together. Always check your diagram and your pattern when you put your block together, because we do make mistakes every once in a while. I mean, not you. I make mistakes every once in a while. Are you checking me? Am I doing this right?
I don't think so.
Upside down.
Yeah.
Upside down.
How about this?
Yep.
That better? Okay.
Uh-uh.
Oh no, I'm missing a block.
Other corner.
Where's my other block?
Bottom right goes to the top, right? Correct. There you go.
Okay, my friends. If your sewing room looks anything like mine, you'll understand what is just happening. I know it's here somewhere.
Glad to know I'm not.
So we're going to have to use our imaginations. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Imagine right here a block that looks just like this. Okay? A square that looks just like that. Those 9 squares come together to make your block. Ta-da! Yeah, brilliant. And that is it. That is the block. It is that block repeated over and over again. When you lay out your quilt, it is set on points, so you'll lay them out in diagonal rows and then add your setting triangles, which I'll talk about in a minute. Be careful of the placement of the stripe. There's a diagonal stripe created in the block. Be careful of the placement of that in your blocks when you sew them together, because it's that creates the overall design in the quilt. Some will go one way, some will go the other way. You'll see the pattern in the layout. Just pay attention to that when you sew them together. Okay, now let's talk about this. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
In the quilt, you have some of the accent on the squares. Do we need to do that?
You mean like here?
No, no, no. Top one. Look, the top one. Right there. No, that one.
Right here?
Mhm.
Yes, it's just because there's a similar blue in the strip set.
Oh, okay.
So this blue was part of the strip set and was used as the strip fabric, and so it was pieced into the tube, into the half stripe triangle or the full stripe triangle. So if your eye gravitates to that and you think it distracts from the vibrant blue of the accent, you might want to not use that in your strips. Do you follow what I'm saying? Like I told you there are two fabrics that you don't need to use, or two strips. Those would be the strips that you might want to pull out. We did choose an accent that we wanted to contrast with the strip so that it would pop out. It does contrast with most of the fabrics in the strip, and it does pop out. It also repeats here on the borders, so that also gives it a little more emphasis for that accent fabric. But that's what you're saying, right? Is that it's the same fabrics. If you don't want that in your quilt, you don't have to use that strip. You can always, when you have a strip set, if there's a couple you don't like, you can replace it. I'm sure you have some other fabrics that you could use with 2.5 inches. Yeah, I think maybe, yeah. All right, now let's talk about setting triangles. This setting triangle finishes each row, and then we have corner triangles that finishes the corners. The setting triangle is not difficult to put together, and it's a technique that Sharon Craig has designed called the cutting corner technique. We have created a ruler called the cutting corner ruler that really uses this technique very well. It gives you multiple size possibilities with the ruler. You do not have to have the ruler. Oh, by the way, you don't have to have the ruler with the block either, the strip tube ruler, although I really don't know why everyone doesn't have that ruler, so if you don't have it, go get one. Go visit your local quilt shop, go walk over to the counter, get a strip tube ruler, because the thing is awesome. You know we keep doing patterns that use that ruler, so we'll have plenty of reasons to keep using it. Now the cutting corner ruler, in it there are also instructions that if you don't have the cutting corner ruler, you can put a template together, and I will actually show you how to do that here today. So first thing you do is you follow the instructions, and you're going to cut a long rectangle that is from your background fabric. Look, a long rectangle from your background fabric, yes?
Yes.
So we need to cut off a corner, cutting corners, of each of 2 of these sides. So 2 of these 4 corners will be cut off. We use the cutting corner ruler and the dimension that is listed in the pattern. The cutting corner ruler looks like this. And with all of these lines, you have lots of different size possibilities that you can cut. It is not like a triangle ruler. It does not cut out triangles. It does cut corners off of existing squares or blocks. This is how it works. You will take your ruler and place it, for example, on the corner like this, and then whack off using the long edge of your rotary cutter. That's how it's placed on your block. You follow that? Okay, so for our block today, we are going to take the measurement listed in the pattern, and we're going to place it on the corner, the top right corner, and whack off the edge, and then we're going to do it again for the top left corner and whack off the edge to get a rectangle that has 2 corners missing.
Voila.
A rectangle that has 2 corners missing. All right? Are we good so far? Okay, for those that don't have the cutting corner ruler yet, in the pattern is a template piece. You just cut out that template piece, tape it to your ruler so the long edge is against the cutting edge of your ruler, and use it in exactly the same manner. You'll just place the ruler on the corner and cut. Just like that. You follow? Okay, so there's option B. We love the cutting corner ruler because with this one ruler, first of all, you can see through it. With this one, you can't see through it as well because, well, the paper's on there. And second of all, this comes in multiple sizes, all the way up to 5 inches. It has finished, on one side it's 1s and halves, on the other side it's 1/4 and 3/4. This is the finished size of your triangle. So if you're making a block with this technique, we've done all the math in the seams for you. Now for the setting, we need to do the same thing with an accent piece. rectangle and then whack off 2 of the corners. Just like that. Follow?
Yep.
Okay. Now we need 1 more piece to complete the 3 pieces that go into the setting triangle. It's a triangle. The triangle is simply cut by cutting a square, then cutting that square in half diagonally. You get a triangle like that, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to sew this piece to this piece, and then this piece to that piece, and there you have a pieced setting triangle. Isn't that fabulous?
It is.
Do you see that pieced setting triangle in the quilt?
Yes.
There it is. So now you can see how that goes right into the quilt to sort of create what I think is sort of a hidden border that sits behind the blocks. It almost looks like it's got more dimension going on than it does because of that inner stripe technique. But the real magic of it is not just the setting triangle, it's also the corner setting. Because in the corner setting, it turns the corner. That blue stripe, if you look at the top right of the quilt, that blue stripe makes a right angle. And to do that, it's exactly the same way, except you're going to sew 2 triangles together. We've given you all the dimensions. You will cut the pieces just as you did before. You will start with a triangle. You start with a larger segment of background, a smaller segment of accent, and then a triangle. Create a smaller piece, and then you create a second smaller piece to finish off the miter effect. Very nice? Yep, so that's the corner. And this is all designed and orchestrated by Sharon Craig. She's got a lot of other options for the same technique for different size blocks in the instruction booklet that comes with the cutting corner ruler. So if that's something you're interested in, there's a lot of resources already packed into the cutting corner ruler. Love the technique. I've loved it especially for this quilt because it pulls that blue that pops from the accent into the border, and then we duplicate that same color again for a second sort of border, and then we add that multi-print for the final outer border. You love it?
Yes.
Great. Do you have any questions on it? Can you imagine it in other color combinations?
Oh, yes.
I mean, think about all the possibilities. I would love to show you a quilt that has it in other colors. So that Why, look, I happen to have one right here. Kind gentleman coming to the rescue. I'm going to let you hold this whole thing. Oh, we got 2 kind gentlemen. Oh, we're so lucky here. Now, my friends, this is the same pattern. It is different, and the colors make a huge difference. This is the cherry valley pop with almost a patterned yellow as the background fabric, and then a fantastic black that pulls some of those same colors from cherry. But do you notice that accent fabric contrasts everything? It contrasts the strips and it contrasts the background, so it really does pop to create the design effect. Do you like it?
Yeah.
I'm glad. I think this is the throw. No, this is the lap. It's square, 3 by 3. We call it a lap. It is, thank you, ma'am, 66 by 66. So it is 6 inches taller than me and 6 inches taller than me if I was sideways. Is it great? Do you love it?
Yes.
So, we've been doing strip clip for how many years? 8 years or something? Every month a new pattern for 8 years. But we still haven't run out of ideas. And again, we've taken that strip tube ruler that we love so much, a way to turn strips into what I'm hoping you consider a beautiful and striking quilt and a project that you want to sink your teeth into. That is our goal here at Cozy. And at the risk of you saying no, do you think we accomplished that goal?
Yeah.
Thank you all. Okay. Okay, now before we break, I'd like to know if there's anybody that has any sharing for strip club projects that they don't mind sharing to a lot of people. if you do, I welcome you to come on up, and we'll get what you have accomplished out to the world. Anybody? Strip club sharing? All right. Gentlemen, you don't mind sticking around for a couple minutes? All right, in the meantime, next month we have another strip club project coming up. You know, we do this every month. And we love that you come and join us, because without you it wouldn't be nearly as much fun. What do we have? What would it be? Who can name it?
Diamond.
Oh.
The double diamond or diamond head.
It is diamond double.
Diamond double.
This pattern is diamond double. We originally did it in black and white also, but we added an accent and you went with white. That's just fantastic.
This is going to be given to my cousin, and everything's just black and white for her. And she actually, she makes jewelry, and I'm hoping that she'll trade me some jewelry.
So we got a quilt for jewelry going on here. Oh, it's beautiful.
And then I put Minky on the back. I like using the smooth Minky because the quilting shows up so nicely.
That's a real treat. Thank you very much.
A couple tips with using Minky. I suggest using a ballpoint needle because it is a knit, and a walking foot from your Bernina. It really helps to get that thickness through your machine. And I don't like to hand sew the binding on Minky because it's thick, and with the nap on it, it's hard to catch the stitches. So I usually do it by machine.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
I'm Michaelie, and I have the pink daisy, and this is so I'm for hire too. So.
All right.
Yeah, for jewelry.
Do we have any more Cozy Strip Club patterns to share today? No? Well, I encourage you to bring them and share them because we all like to see them. That is striking quilt, beautiful for everyone to enjoy, and so totally different than our original one, even though it's the same pattern. And that's a lot of fun for me to see quilts come back in different fabrics. So if that's all and there's no questions, if that's all and there's no other questions, I thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you next time.